So two-story house is load-bearing EPS-based lightweight panels. Very rapid construction method. Now these EPS panels are manufactured at a factory located in a factory located at Jayasinghe. They are lightweight. The density can vary between 750 to 850. And they can be manufactured by having cement fiber boards on either side, or they can be manufactured without cement fibers. When they are manufactured with cement fiber boards, the density is generally around 700 kilograms per meter cubed. But when we go without cement fiber boards, we make it slightly stronger, slightly heavier. We go for 850 to 900 kilograms per meter cube. Very rapid construction. Within two or 3 days, you can finish many things. And you can see the house construction. And then it's the upper floor. Right, so when you want to do this construction, you can place the panels like this. This is a precast lintel. Then you do the slab, and this is how the slab is constructed by using nut beams, and then placing the shutters like this. The shutters are suspended from the beams, so very easy. No special shuttering, because all these plywood sheets of 12 to 15 millimeter are supported by the panel or by the beam by using binding wire. So there's no special shuttering, and the wiring can be done before we do the concrete. Once you do the concreting, it looks like this. And these are manufactured in a factory like this, these are the waste products. Those are crushed using a crusher and then used in this concrete mixer with mortar and the aggregates, and then they are all fed into the molds. And in this picture, you can see even the staircase has been made by using these panels. And then these doing the load test. We did a load test on this. And this the mechanism they used to get to the top of this with the sandbags. And these are the blocks, very lightweight. You can see this. And he's the owner of the factory, mechanical engineer from Peradeniya University, who passed out in 1992, I think. 1992, yes, 1992. And he's the owner of this factory. And he's a businessman doing property development. And if you ask what is its wealth, it is around 800 million rupees. So he's doing a lot of businesses. He's the owner of many lands, and he's a very innovative man. And you can see it's a lightweight block, huge block, very light, very easy to do the construction. And this is the autoclave factory in Putlam. You can see cement silo. And they also manufacture very lightweight blocks. You can say ACC blocks on internet. Type ACC blocks on internet. Sri Lanka, ACC blocks Sri Lanka. We look at the images. You can see this. Can you see, Bimali? Can you see the screen with Lanka ACC Private Limited?
No, sir. We can see the presentation.
You can see the presentation. Okay. Okay. You can just type ACC blocks. Just type ACC blocks. ACC Sri Lanka. ACC blocks Sri Lanka. ACC blocks Sri Lanka on internet. You can get the details. Then, retrofitting as a sustainable technique. Why? And we have so many old buildings. Are we going to demolish all, or are we going to restore them? We can do both. If we are going to demolish, we can use the demolished waste for various we can convert demolished waste to various building materials. That's one of the options. On the other hand, we can repair the buildings by using latest technology like carbon fiber. And this is a bomb damage, not bomb, blast damage building with precast beams. And we have, this is how they install the precast, the carbon fiber as a to strengthen the beams. And this is an inland revenue building which was damaged in 2009 or early 2009 when an aircraft was shot from ground and the engine of the aircraft ended up inside the building. But the aircraft was shot just before it hit the building. So there's a huge blast, and blast damaged the pre-stressed concrete beams And so we repaired all the pre-stressed concrete beams by using carbon fiber technique. We call it FRP, fiber reinforced polymers, and we call it CFRP, carbon fiber reinforced polymers. If you're not using carbon fiber, you can use glass fiber. Then you call it GFRP, glass fiber reinforced polymers. And if you want to get a lot of details about this, you can type Professor Tim Abel, FRP, CFRP on internet, or type Dr. Anthony Darby, FRP, CFRP. Both of them are from Bath University. Professor Tim Abel was our external examiner. Now he is the Dean of Faculty of Engineering and Design. And he has done a lot of work on CFRP. So you can download the information by typing Professor Tim Abel, CFRP, Bath University. You can get a lot of information. So, if you are going to do green technology, green buildings need a team of professionals who can face challenges. So if you are taking this subject, you should be willing to take challenges. Why? Because each project is unique. We have to come up with unique solutions for unique problems. So we need to think outside the box, out of box solutions. What do you mean by this? What we mean by this is we should always be looking out for new methods or new materials. Can be a new method, or it can be a new material, or even the existing material. We'll see how we can do changes. So when it comes to materials, we can have bricks, blocks, hollow blocks, solid blocks, concrete blocks, then wire cut bricks, cement stabilizer bricks, cement stabilizer blocks. Then we can have rammed earth. Then we mix cement, sand, all with a lot of water, and you can get a wall, in-situ cast wall, and sometimes it's called mudcrete as well. So, which is like a concrete out of soil. Again, you have to be very careful when you are using these technologies. Then we also can have many other things like lightweight panels, autoclave blocks, lightweight blocks, lightweight solid blocks, lightweight hollow blocks, lightweight interlocking blocks, all kinds of different materials. When it comes to concrete, we can have normal strength concrete, high strength concrete. We can also have pre-stressed concrete. When it comes to steel, we can have steel concrete composite construction. And we have one expert. We have few experts, but one of the lecturers who is a real expert on this subject is Dr. Pradeep Tantirike from Open University. So Bimali, you have to remind me, we'll have a lecture on how to use steel composite construction for Sri Lanka. Because he's doing an 8-story building these days using steel concrete composite construction. Is that clear?
Yes, sir, I'll remind you.
Yeah, just remind me, so I'll organize one lecture. So I'd like you to learn about all different types of construction, so that you will not have one solution, you will have many solutions for any given problem. For example, these days, we are planning to have 100 hotels in the Eastern province that we are planning to start after May this year. Then you will ask, why 100 hotels? Why not 50? Because we need to have a large number. The reason is we are not going to do normal tourism. We are going to do health tourism. The reason is we have a lot of knowledge on plant-based medicine. And we can, when people age, there are a lot of problems. They get arthritis, they get cholesterol, they get blood sugar, they become very fat. There are so many problems faced by people as you age. And most of these problems are due to overeating. Then the other contributory factor is all kinds of chemicals that have been used to produce our food. When you eat dal, you are adding a lot of residues of pesticides, weedicides to your body. Because this dal is made in either in Australia or Canada under mechanized agricultural practices, which means they use a lot of fertilizer, they use a lot of pesticides, they use a lot of weedicides. And all these chemicals, what will happen finally? They will be added to our food chain. And when we eat dal, it does not come from India, it comes from Canada or Australia. We eat a lot of residues. And some of these residues can be flushed from the body, some of them accumulate. So when you have accumulation of poison in your body, what can happen? Then you'll find your body reacts, and over a period of time, you'll find your body immunity system weakens. When the body immunity system weakens, what will happen next? There are dormant cells in your body, and those dormant cells are cancerous. And those cancerous cells will get a chance to attack you because your body immune system is weak. So we have mastered how to treat all these different illnesses. So we are going for health tourism. But we want to have something to attract people. Then we are going to call them carbon zero buildings. How are we going to get carbon zero buildings? It's very easy to make a building carbon zero by producing the electricity that you use. But if the building is needing a lot of electricity, then you have to produce huge amount of electricity. That means you need to have a solar farm to produce all the electricity. So we are trying to make it carbon zero by optimizing the system so that we need minimum energy to run the building. So also we need minimum energy to construct the building. Because of that reason, we are planning to use cement stabilized rammed earth for construction. Cement stabilized rammed earth for construction. And we'll use some low cement percentage like 3%, a maximum of 4%. And we'll construct 3 to 4-story buildings, and all the slabs will be supported by nerd beams, prestressed concrete beams, which are very efficient, and all the floors will be out of Dura panels. All the ceilings will be out of Dura panels. What is Dura? Dura is waste straw after harvesting, which is a waste material, and we are converting that waste material to board first, and we are using the board for ceilings and floors. And you'll ask how strong. You have seen the picture of the elephant. If an elephant can sit on the board, what can you say about us standing on the board? Will it be a problem? It will not be a problem at all. So we are going to do this kind of construction by having a concrete roof only at the top floor. Everything else is out of renewable materials. And this year we are planning to create about 100 hotels close to the tanks, reservoirs in the eastern province, so that the tourists will come for there to cure all their illnesses. And they will be staying long term. And our idea is to offer a very reasonable rate, like $100 per night, half board. And if it is a couple, a further discount of $50, so $150 half board. The idea is they will facilitate them to go to the eastern coast beaches during the daytime and have a bath, sea bath and all that, spend some time in the sea and some time visiting all these attractions that we have on the eastern province and the north central province, so that we can promote a lot of tourism. And when we promote a lot of tourism like this, we can overcome the dollar shortage in Sri Lanka. And one of the biggest problems faced by many people in the world today is they don't have medicine for most of the illnesses around, including COVID. But in Sri Lanka, we are very lucky. We know the treatments for COVID and so many other illnesses, and they are all plant-based. And they are all tried and tested because we have used them over so many years. And traditionally, we have used this plant-based medicine for over 10,000 years or so. Because our ancient people knew how to make steel, and also they knew how to treat illnesses. So I hope you know, we had an ice age 12,000 years ago. 12,000 years ago, the world was covered with ice, and the thickness of the ice cap was some countries in the northern hemisphere, like Canada, the top 4 countries like Sweden, those countries were covered with the ice cap of 2 to 3 kilometers of thickness. And then 800 years ago, all these ice cap melted. So those days, when during the ice age, people could not live in any of the northern countries. Any of the western countries, people could not live. They could live close to the equator, and the world temperature was 6 degrees, world average was 6 degrees lower, and the sea levels were 125 meters low. So the world map those days was very different because it was bigger. It was bigger. More land, less sea. And then these ice caps melted about 8,000 years ago due to some reason. And then the countries, what you see today emerged. And you would have seen that, you know, on the satellite images, there's a bridge connecting India and Sri Lanka, starting from Talemana. And now you can see how the bridge came, because when the sea level started rising, people needed a bridge, so they constructed the bridge. But the sea levels kept on rising, so finally the bridge they constructed went underwater. So today, if you look at the satellite images, you can see there's something which looks like a bridge underneath the water, connecting Sri Lanka and India. So then what happened was, you know, people, as the ice melted, people started migrating further north, because these lands are very fertile. They could grow potatoes easily, And they did not grow rice, but they lived on potatoes. That grows very well in cold countries. So even today, a lot of food production is in Belgium, Holland, Germany, France, all those countries. You can get plenty of farmers. They use modern methods, but mainly chemical based. And because of that, the food they produce contain contaminants, and all the people in the Europe mostly use this contaminated food, but the contamination level can be low, but still it is not pure food. And as they age, they have all kinds of health problems that they need treatment. And our tropical climatic conditions are ideal for treating all these illnesses and make them strong and healthy. And so this is the theme we are using this time. And you'll find there'll be plenty of employment opportunities by the time you pass out, because there'll be many projects like this initiated with the latest technology under construction by the time you pass out. And another project that we are planning is, very tall building in Sri Lanka, something like 180-story building, which will have a floor that can be occupied, which is at a higher level than Burj Khalifa. Burj Khalifa is a very tall building, but its highest floor is 160th floor. And we want to go higher than that. And you'll ask why? Because we want to show a new technology to the rest of the world on how to combat the wind effects, number one. Number two, how to make the structures super light, so that the structures which are very lightweight will make it possible for us to go for super tall buildings in Sri Lanka. And the idea of having a super tall building is to have about 50 floors of hotels in the top part of the building, so that there will be plenty of tourists coming to Sri Lanka to see this building and stay in the building, so that when they go back to their countries, they can say, I have stayed in the 160th floor or 170th floor of a building. And each floor will have observation galleries, so that they will be able to see how the sun rises, sun sets, and all the other sceneries. And the advantage for Sri Lanka is sun never stays in one place. For about 5 months, sun is on the northern side. For 5 months, sun is on the southern side. So every day, because sun is moving, you will get a different picture. So a lot of people might like staying in this kind of buildings, because they can see many things in Sri Lanka, even without going out of the building. So all these projects are on the pipeline. And if they become a reality, you'll find employment is not a problem for you, because the moment you pass out, there'll be plenty of opportunities waiting for you. So you can see, by going for sustainable construction with modern technology, we can do wonders. So that's why we want out-of-box thinkers. So don't memorize and pass the exam. Always try and understand and pass the exam. Innovation in design and exemplary performance. Really do better than the minimum required for recognition by the rating system. So rating systems tell you to do so many things as a recipe book, but your green buildings can be far superior to what is given in the guidelines. So mass holding Suruli is the first building I showed you. And we also need deep research and development based on sound fundamentals would be essential. for facing challenges of man-made problems associated with buildings. And we also need professionals who would be willing to experiment with new materials and methods. So basically, we like you to be innovative. So when you are doing your final year projects that you have already started, see how to be innovative with your projects. How to do things new. So challenges of green, there's a need to educate client about the challenges that the professional team has to take, since they may be deviating from tried and tested materials and methods. So instead of using burnt clay bricks, you will use cement stabilizer, or you might use a lightweight block. And also you must learn how to use the state-of-the-art software for modeling the building performance and material performance can be important. So basically learn IDAS, the family, whole family, not just Maila, Gen or Civil, but the whole family. The reason is, if you want to be innovative and make a challenge to the other people, then you must have knowledge. Not just the knowledge, but knowledge based on software as well. So that whenever there's a problem, you can make your own model and see how things are going. Green professionals have to take greater risks than usual to make the buildings cost effective. And we must implement new technology. Conclusion is, Sri Lanka is a country with favorable climatic conditions, and you can try and make green cheaper in capital and running. So Turuli buildings, they say they cost 25% extra because we went for all concrete type designs rather than using the zinc column sheets. And but when it comes to running of the building, it needs 40% less energy. So basically, if you look at mass holdings to release, it doesn't look like a factory, it looks like a 3 or 4 or 5-star hotel. Nelunga Art Center, again a very nice building. I showed you the building of the ballet dancer. And green is the future for survival. So take the challenges head on and go for new techniques, designs, materials, and concepts. And don't try to copy the buildings. Always think fresh and come up with new concepts. And we must develop our own technology and move forward. And green may need professionals who are willing to break away from traditions and what has been practiced up to now and think out of the box. So that's why we are teaching you this subject. Don't think this is another subject where you are going to learn how to use another equation. No, it's different. We want you to be innovative. We want you to think outside the box. But we'll teach the basic theory, and it's up to you to think loud and come up with very good techniques and materials, alternative materials, and sometimes you might even come up with, you might reinvent the cartoon. Like, you know, in a jungle area, you want to do a construction, your cement is hard to find, then you might go for water land daub construction. What we call Varichi in Sinhala. So you might go for water land daub construction because it needs timber, it needs clay, soil. Then for the floor, you might use round walls or some timber. Instead of concrete beams, pre-stressed concrete beams, you might use some timber. And then on top of that, you can easily have Dura panels. And also you can have Dura panels as the ceiling. What is the reason? The Dura panel at the top will sustain the load, but when it comes to sound insulation, you need two boards with an air gap so that the people below will not be affected. So now with that you can see, by learning a subject like this, we expect you to learn the available techniques, but we also like you to look for new techniques that can either give a lesser carbon footprint or a better finish. Something. And whenever you do a collaborative project, you have to acknowledge the help given by all the other people, because no single person can ever achieve all these different projects. They are done by so many different people. So you need to have a statement where you thank everybody. So we need to have an acknowledgement for this presentation. And you can see the University of Marlborough research team consists of Professor Ajit Jalvis. He's the Dean, Faculty of Graduate Studies. Professor Atalake, he has retired from us and now he's working at SLIIT. Professor Rohinton is no longer with us. He's now in Edinburgh, one of the universities in Edinburgh, England. And Professor Jayasinghe is your head of department. And so basically, I'm thanking all these people. And a very special thank is due for Engineer Nuwan Senaka Wanigaratna, who designed the mass holdings, and he also designed Nelung Art Center. And then there's another green tower in Sri Lanka, close to 50 floors. It's called Clear Point at Rajagiri. It's a green tower, very nice building. When you are traveling around Rajagiri area, you can always see this very nice building where trees are available at every floor. There's another building. And then, so all those buildings have been designed by him. And also, the architect of Turuli, Mr. Sanjeev Lokuliyana, the reason is he redesigned the whole building. The initial estimate of Baga was 480 million. Then the owners of Mass Holding said, we don't want this project. If you want to do this project, bring it down to 205 million. So at that moment, we again redesigned the building with architect Sanjeeva, and we reduced the areas and we did so many modifications, and finally Baga came up with 210 million as the project cost. And later the client wanted Baga to do so many things extra that were not available in the BOQ, and they did all those, and finally the project cost went up to 296 million. And it was all completed by the end of 2008. And during 2009, we prepared the documents, and finally we got LEED Platinum in 2010. So what you have to keep in mind is there are so many different things you can see in the Mass Holdings Turuli and also Nelung Art Center. Very bold steps. And they have lasted so many years. So finally, I would like to say, don't be a follower, always be a thinker. And then try and make something different to your country and to this planet, so that many people will be able to get the benefit of your innovation. So thank you. And we'll be having another lecture on Wednesday, the Tuesday.